So good evening, everyone. My name is Dameion King. I am a 37-year-old Richmond resident. I've lived here all my life. I was born in Brookside Hospital, now Doctors Medical Hospital. And I've experienced the trials, the tribulations, the tragedy, and the truth that our community represents. One of the things that I want to say is that I think it's extremely important for every single resident of Richmond to view themselves as stakeholders. I think that that's something that's missing in our community. Yeah, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of talk about what I've done, but let's face it, one person can't do everything by themselves. Without the community, without hearing from information from people who care, who are civically engaged, how can any politician make a decision? I think that one of the biggest problems that face our community is the lack of pragmatism on our council. I think that's extremely important that no matter what good ideas you have, if you can't get along with the people that are charged with the responsibility of governing our community, we all suffer. I think that aside from the lack of pragmatism in our community, I believe that we also have failed to master the ability to attract socially responsible corporations. I think that a community that's dependent on money, corporation influence, is a community, again, that will also suffer. So I think that aside from the changes that are taking place in our community, again, it's important for every resident to view themselves as a stakeholder. As a council member, one of the things that I would do in terms of addressing this concern is developing opportunities for social enterprise in our community and developing opportunities for our community members to have the skills that are necessary for the jobs that we want to attract to this community. I think that's extremely important. Our downtown is suffering. We always talk about developing our coastline, and we know that our coastline is a gold mine. That's how a lot of people feel. That's how developers feel. But what about our downtown? I believe our downtown will attract commerce. I believe our downtown will act as a buffer for the communities in Richmond that we would like to remain neighborly and peaceful. And so I think that that's also something that's extremely important. We have a lot of undeveloped and vacant buildings in our community that definitely need to be filled with businesses or organizations that will help develop the citizens in our community. And I also think it's extremely important for our community to be made, our council to be made up of accurate representation. I've survived drive-bys in this community. I've survived living next door to crack houses in this community. I've also been able to pick myself up from the bootstraps, start a business, become an owner of a restaurant, to publish a magazine, to sit on the advisory committees in this community. I also had the benefit of being the chair of the Community Leadership Advisory Group for Marine Clean Energy. I had a brief time on the Richmond Housing Authority committee, excuse me. And I currently work as a hard skills development specialist for Rubicon Programs, an organization that's been around for 40 years whose sole mission is to end poverty in our communities. So I think that it's important to have accurate representation. And I may not represent all your interests, but I can assure you that I can get along with the individual or individuals who do. And I think that that's extremely important. In order for us to have sustainable progress, we also have to, again, have a diverse business community. And we need to be cultivating an environment that small businesses can continue to thrive. And aside from, again, I mentioned socially responsible organizations. I think that the way for us to do that and be successful, we have to spark a renaissance in our community. We have to spark a renaissance that involves every individual. Again, that involves every individual to see themselves as stakeholders so they can be a part of that process in attracting the kind of businesses and sustaining the kind of community that we all want. I enjoy the Marina Bay community. I come down here every weekend and walk with my 13-year-old brother who I take care of. And so I think that it's extremely important for us to keep that in mind, that every resident should feel as if they're stakeholders in this community. I believe that, again, I may not represent your interests in its entirety, but I definitely can get along with those individuals who do. And I think that that's one of the reasons why you should vote for me, and I will bring pragmatism to our city council. Thank you so much.